Okay guys, let's roll. Funny thing making videos for YouTube. Some days you haven't got a clue what to make a video about. And the next thing, you're swamped by them. Swamped, I say. Anyhow, background image. My favourite ship, HMS Kettleston. Really loved her. Really loved her. I put her up there to remind me to stay on course, not wander off blathering. Okay, what are we going to talk about? Well, we're going to talk about Advance UK. I think I might call the title The Good, the Bad and the Ugly. I've definitely got some good news about Advance UK, and I've really got some ugly news about Advance UK, but I couldn't think of nothing bad to say about Advance UK, so it might be just Advance UK, the good and the ugly. Ugly with an H. Here we go. Let's take a look at this. Well, not that. This. Advance UK. How are you different from Reform UK in terms of policies? Reform has no settled political philosophy. It stands for nothing other than the pursuit of power. Farage is on record saying a united Ireland is inevitable. Advance UK absolutely rejects that, and the Irish Sea border. Pay attention to that first one. We'll be coming back to it. He is not concerned about the rate of demographic change. Advance UK is rightly concerned. He would not deport all illegal migrants in the country. He has said it is politically impossible. It is not impossible. Advance UK would take all steps required to deport them. They must all go. He would not politically alienate Islam, whatever that means. Advance UK stands firmly for our Christian constitution, culture and our values. He would consider bringing Shamima Begum back into the country. Never would Advance UK allow this. He would allow trans women, i.e. men, into women's prisons on a risk-assessed basis. Never would Advance UK allow men into women's prisons. Reform does not believe in democracy. Farage is Reform and Reform is Farage. Advance UK's constitution is entirely democratic. Reform does not believe in free speech. Its policies, its members' views, and habitually throws people out of the party for what they have tweeted. Advance UK does not police its members. We must be judged by our policies, not the views of our members. I'll be coming back to this because I've got something fucking ugly to show you about Advance UK. Some of Reform's MPs voted for assisted dying. Advance UK stands absolutely against it. Here's my personal opinion on that. I once had to spend a lot of time in an old age pensioners home and see people dying with no dignity. When I go, I want to choose the time I go. I've already made my plans for how I'm going to go anyhow. So, yeah, I think that should be thought about in more depth. Reform uses lawfare against its own, Rupert Lowe and others. Advance UK would never do such a thing. Okay, so there's the policies, yeah? Let's go back up to this first one here. A united Ireland is inevitable. Advance UK absolutely rejects that and the Irish Sea border. I agree. Here's the good, okay? Listen, if I can find play.
Here might sound, Advance UK is not a political party which is going to be the sort of organism that promotes itself over and above and to the detriment of the country. Advance UK is going to be a new kind of political party which actually stands firmly for the country. And let me just define quickly what I mean by the country. Some people are challenged even to define what it is that is the United Kingdom. But it is the United Kingdom of Great Britain, that's Scotland, Wales and England. I'm sorry about this, but it's important. Scotland, Wales and England, and Northern Ireland. No one, no part of this country, no individual in this country is going to be thrown under a bus in the hot pursuit of power. We are going to stand by every part of this country and for every person in this country. That is what Advance UK is fundamentally about.
Okay, good. I like what Ben Habib said about Northern Ireland, Ulster then. That was very, very good. Now, have a look at this clip of a video speech. This is over on the barakashow.com. He's that black guy. Fair play for him. He gets everywhere. He really does. He asks for money quite often, but the amount of travelling he does, he needs every penny he can raise. He's here, there, everywhere. It sounded like a Beatles song. Yeah, so I might even make a donation to him myself. He gets everywhere. His expenses must be horrendous, so he does a great job. Anyhow, have a look at this video clip that he was reporting on from Ben Habib's event. Listen to this.
That is not scared to call out the negative impact it is having on the West. I would say it's somewhat the same for left-wing communist liberal ideologies, such as trans and mass migration. However, on these topics, we are only part way, in my opinion, of the path. We are able to identify that these issues exist, but we don't seem to be actually going a step further and actually calling out the people that are funding it and pushing it. And I'm not sure whether it's because people are scared, because it's not difficult to actually find out and do a bit of a trace on it. Charlie Kirk was an idol to me, and I'm sure he was to everyone in this room. Would you all agree? Yeah.
Right, you saw them all cheering there, right? Watch how quickly they turn on her when she asks an unpleasant question, and watch what that person on the left does, yeah? Just pay attention and follow now, because I found this totally unacceptable.
He led me to open mind as well, and I would like to paraphrase a quote that he said to me not long before he was murdered. And before anyone pushes back on me, please remember that these are his words and not mine. Jewish donors have been the #1 funding mechanism of radical, open, border, neoliberal, quasi-Marxist policies, cultural institutions, and non-profits. This is a beast created by secular Jews. Jewish donors have a lot of explaining and decoupling to do. It's the movies and Hollywood, it's everything. Many people on the right, like you in this room, will feel enlivened because they've discovered some of the horrible content in the Quran and the Hadiths. But what many of you aren't aware of, that there's much worse stuff said in the Jewish Talmud, the Jewish Book of Law, especially so my first class literally. Excuse me.
Right. What that young lady was trying to do there was to read out a statement that the late Charlie Kirk, who was murdered in America, as you know, I'd said just before he was shot. They weren't her words. She made it clear that she was reading the words of Charlie Kirk, and Charlie Kirk was critical of Israel because of the genocide of the Palestinian people. If you don't think there's a genocide happening out there, well, there's not much I can do to educate you. But it's the truth. Anyhow, that's what she was reading out. And the way they turned on her was absolutely disgusting. Free speech. She was supposed to have had her minute up on the stage. It goes on and the guy will come over and take the mic off her. But fair play for this Barak. Here we go.
When I first heard what she was saying, I was thinking, man, this must be a lie. This cannot be true. There's no way Charlie Kirk said something like this about Jews. Until I did a little bit digging, then I figured out that he did say it on November 7th, 2023. And he said it in that podcast. You can go on November 7, 2023 on the Charlie Kirk show, and you can find that podcast where he was talking about the Jewish donor and the Jewish influence in funding these sort of policies in the West. And here's a video that I saved from that podcast so you can hear it for yourself.
And Jewish donors, they have a lot of explaining to do, a lot of decoupling to do, because Jewish donors have been the #1 funding mechanism of radical, open border, neoliberal, quasi-Marxist policies, cultural institutions, and nonprofits. This is a beast created by secular Jews. And now it's coming for Jews, and they're like, what on earth happened? And it's not just the colleges. It's the nonprofits, it's the movies, it's Hollywood, it's all of it. It's like time for you guys to wake up and say no more. Draw a line in the sand. I don't care if you hate me.
Fantastic.
So we're here with...
Hiya, nice to meet you. I'm Charlie, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Charlie. So, Charlie, you asked the question here, and the question was not finished.
I clearly explained how long it would take me to say my statement and my 2 questions. I said that at the start.
But why do you think, first of all, could you ask that question again? Because we didn't get to end it. Because I'm sure, because my viewers, we've been live since the start. Yeah. And some people were like, oh, she was right. Some people in the comments were like, oh, she was here to sabotage. I
wasn't here to sabotage at all.
But this is what I picked. Obviously, I want you to address the comments. And some people are like, she's not a advanced supporter.
Yeah, I 100% am.
Because of the question. Now, could you finish off what you were trying to get to? Because obviously people didn't get the full thing.
Yeah, of course.
If you can.
So the question I was going to ask was, are you going to have the balls to call out, okay, who is truly behind this? Instead of just saying, this is happening, say who's doing it. Because you have no fear with Islam, so why do you have fear with secular Jews? Why are you scared? So that was the first question. The second question was, I was going to read a quote, and I'll do it now because I didn't get to finish it. Right? So for my second question, and this was it, and I clearly said, I think you all saw, clearly told everyone how long it would take me to do it, and I had 2 questions. I would like to know your stance on Israel. I know this is parties endorsed by Tommy, who is pro-Israel, but I will leave you with a quote. Again, not my words, Charlie's words. The fact is now that Bibi and the Israeli hard-right government has a mandate. I've got to be careful the way I say this. They're going to, no, I'm paraphrasing. I'm literally paraphrasing.
Oh, you're actually reading the words.
I'm literally paraphrasing what Charlie said. So you can tell how nervous he is already saying this. They are going to try to ethnically cleanse Gaza, and I don't use this term lightly. They are talking about moving 2.5 million people. That is a quote from Charlie, not me. So it's also one of many similar quotes. I've seen him talk, questioning Israel a number of times, particularly in the last 6 months before he died. So my last question was, are you going to have the balls to call out Israel for what it is, or are you just going to do what everyone else does?
Okay.
That was what the question was.
Okay, I'll put a link to Baraka's show in the comments. Those of us who pay attention to what is happening in the world knows about the ethnic cleansing of the Palestinian lands. They're opening up the border with Egypt for a one-way trip. Palestinians can leave into Egypt, but they will not be allowed to return. They intend to take all of the Gaza City and all of the West Bank, okay? That is a fact. Let's not hide from it anymore. If we can't talk about it and discuss it, well, we're finished, aren't we? And we saw it in that meeting there where they tried to shut it down. I think Ben owes the members an explanation, and that young lady, she's clearly a Christian, deserves to have an answer to her questions. Anyhow, that's all I got for you guys. I'll see you on the next one. On the next video, I think I'll be talking about Rupert Lowe talking to Tucker Carlson. Oh, one last thing. I put a big video up yesterday that was over an hour long. Took me a lot of work to produce it, guys. And it was showing that what we've seen there is a an example of when I said that the split happening in the Republican Party in America would come over here to this country, and it could well divide Advance UK, and it could well divide the right between those who want the truth about Israel and those who think we should just be subservient to them. As if that's going to happen from me. Okay, guys, see you on the next one.